perhaps we can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, so I'm Rob. I don't know if you know me personally. I know you, Alan, and I know Zoe, and I know many people, but I don't know Amy. And this is Safir. Safir is basically our IT guy, and he's here because we're going to share the screen at some point. And because I'm an old school guy, I don't even know how to share a screen.
It's already shared, so they can see.
They can see. Good. Okay. And that photo of me is from 10 years ago, by the way, because I have aged just a bit. Yeah? Okay.
And right next to him is his younger brother from another mother, Rumen
Yeah.
Yonchev. Nice to hear you all, and nice to see you as well. My name is Rumen Yonchev, Key Account Manager in Kingley. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Anyway, good. So if I go, I'm going to go back just a couple of years. I know that we got some sort of a script here and everything, but I'm the type of guy that I tend to go off script. So you have to bear with me. But if you just look at the introduction a bit, you'll notice that how the promotional merchandise market has changed over the years, because I've been in it now 24 years. If I go back 20, no one was talking about sustainability. If you go back 10, perhaps there was a bit of chatter about sustainability, but now than ever before, people are starting to embrace sustainability. And why is it so genuinely important is because it's not Greta Thunberg. Before Greta, there was a lot more repercussions and negatives in place. So what's happened is, because you guys are our customers and you sell onto final customers, it is actually the final customer that is embracing the sustainability in a sense, because they know that in a sense, by embracing sustainability, their clientele look at them in a different light. In the end, it's a little bit got to do with what the final customer wants, because these companies that are paying you guys for the orders are the ones that have to report to the board of directors. They've got to show that they're making a profit. In the end, a lot of it has to do with projecting more sales in the future, and how better to do it than to have your customers understand how the importance of sustainability, traceability, and everything behind it, so they are considered in a good light in front of their customers. Anyway, so
we move forward.
Yeah. For me, a lesson well learned is, if you look after your customers and you educate your customers as to what sustainability genuinely is, then you have a higher acceptance of getting more orders in the future from us. I'll bring you up to speed with that a little bit later. So about our company, we started, in 2014, but it's not genuinely 2014. I have an accumulated database of customers going back 20 years. So the company is based in Sofia, Bulgaria, and going back, it was about 5 years ago is when I genuinely started focusing on what was sustainability and how important it is. It was extremely difficult for us, because for your company to truly become sustainable, sometimes you need to have the traceability and the transparency behind it. That comes with a price. Sometimes you have to invest in certain systems like certifications. It can be GOTS, it can be the GRS, Global Recycled Standard. But we have to, in a sense, show people that when we say we are sustainable, we genuinely are, and we have to validate it through certifications. Anyway, for us, the most important thing is the transparent supply chain. You know, when we manufacture socks, it's not that we have to be sustainable. We have to educate the suppliers behind, and they should be adopting the same social initiatives and sustainability that we have within our organization. That's why a transparent and traceable supply chain is so important. So just to let you guys know, for example, I don't know if you've noticed it. We've noticed it going back a few years, how there's so many companies that are adopting certifications. They basically take the GOTS logo or the Global Recycled Standard or ISO certifications, and they paste it on their web pages. That genuinely means nothing. In a sense, it's greenwashing, It's very much, for example, like McDonald's, you know, the yellow and blue logos. They go and transfer the new restaurants into green. Nothing really changed. It's implying that they've made a change with regards to this sustainability, but it's like a negative perception in the sense that they went green with their restaurants, but the packaging, everything behind it is just how it used to be. So it's so important with regards to communicating to customers about what sustainability genuinely means. And what it is one has to be able to validate and prove to a customer that it's legitimate. Because unfortunately for us as a company, I mean, we invest 100,000 euros a year in certifications and audits. And there are other companies that copy paste logos and hijack what is a SMETA Pillar 4 audit, for example. Or they hijack the GOTS, the Global Organic Textile Standard logo. Now, if a customer cannot supply a CU license number for GOTS or for the Global Recycled Standard, or if they can't give you the transaction certificate or they can't give you any validated information, the chances are that it's a ripoff, it's a con. They're just adopting the fact that they're eco-friendly products, but it's not the case. Hi, Theron. Thanks for joining. Anyway, I haven't even spoken about rumen. I beg your pardon. We had a slide on earlier. I need to talk.
Not a problem. I already present myself.
Yeah, rumen's like head of sales and
the first line of the defense.
First line of the defense.
Okay.
So we are going on to.
So we covered this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Go to the market
Okay.
analysis.
Right, the market analysis. Okay. Well, this is a bit like from our side, right? So what we found was since we have gone truly sustainable and we've reached a standard where we have the GOTS certification, GRS, SMETA, Pillar 4 audits and everything else, it's put us at a fair advantage for our customers because they are able to sell our product on. And whenever a final customer comes back and needs some form of validation, we are more than happy to share the information with you. Now, that information can be transaction certificates from a third party called Control Union, whereby if you had an order for our #1 best-selling product, which are the GOTS organic cotton socks, what that means is we can send to you a transaction certificate of that specific order where all the attributes, all the little points about where the origination of the yarn came from, the batch number, the day of shipment, it's all that information is then taken along with the transaction certificate, the invoice, the packing list, and all that information and uploaded onto the Control Union system. Control Union will then every year come to our factory for 2 days to audit every single transaction certificate that comes through our company. In a sense, when you buy a product like organic cotton socks and you cannot receive a transaction certificate specific to that order, there is a big possibility that that is not truly organic cotton. So what we tend to find is that if we bulletproof our company and we transfer all this information to you, we are bulletproofing yourselves, because when you pass this information on to your customer, it will never backfire. That's a real important lesson well learned, because that has happened in the past when a company claimed that they sold GOTS, and that had a negative repercussion later on. So bamboo socks and upcycled socks are other products that are sustainable. Another good thing about the products that we offer are that the GOTS socks, the bamboo socks, and the upcycled socks, they all have their respective Ecotex certifications. Now, there's a reason why I'm telling you this, is because, right now, just as an example, these are some statistics showing how okay, to put it in a sense, if I go back 5 years ago, got socks was at about 0.01%. Upcycled socks was at about 2%. So what I'm saying, as time goes by, we see the percentages are rising. Although the Global Organic Textile Standard socks, the GOT socks, are more expensive to produce, it turns out that there's a fascinating story behind our company, and that is a lot of people are value putting not the price first. The price now is in fact in third position. What they're looking for is this product genuinely a sustainable product and can be verified? Second down the line is how consistent is the product with regards to quality and how fast can it ship? Because in the promotional merchandise arena, the problem that we have is we don't sell in-stock products. This is fully customized. So we started in the knitting business going back so many years. And what we found was the general standardized production lead times were about 4 to 6 weeks. Now we are actually manufacturing socks today from only 5 or 6 working days. That's a huge stressor for us. That's why we are officially moving to the triple shift. So that's just some statistics for you guys. So you can see how, in fact, the percentages are going up, and we expect this to in fact be even higher by this time next year. Anyway. Now, the interesting thing is, if we look at all the socks that we produce during a given year, you'll see that in conclusion to what you're reading there, is that basically every market segment are using socks. I mean, you'll find our socks in the House of Commons. I mean, if you look at the segments, IT and electronics, Samsung, Sony, those are very, very big customers. Netflix, Google, and all these IT companies, they're very, very important. So if you look at the actual segment, the good thing about socks is that everyone buys socks, even your local gym. Sustainability versus greenwashing. Yeah. So this is a bit like a validation system. So when a customer chooses to buy apparel, whatever it is, one should always insist on receiving some certification, some clarity, some traceability, some accreditation, a claim that they genuinely do have certifications. But it's not just the certification. For me, it's very easy to produce a document to a customer and say, look, we've got this certification, we've got GOTS. It doesn't really tell much of a story. It just tells you that you're approved with a certain compliance or audit. So what happens is for us, we have taken on the GOTS standard, we have taken on the global recycled standard, but for people to genuinely understand what sustainability is, first off, I wanted to bring your attention a little bit to what is the BCOM. It's a sustainability company, that third-party organization that identifies our entire supply chain. What that means is there's about 5,000 different variables taken into consideration. And this has to do, for example, in the case of socks, it has to do from the moment that the cotton seed is planted, harvested, to where it's then spun into yarn and then supplied to us in cones for us to produce socks. So the reason why that's so important is because being traceable, being honest, is genuinely of a lot of importance. So I'll give you an example about how someone could claim that they produce organic cotton, for example. But back in China, for example, there are certain companies that have neglected and taken advantage of people, in a sense, through slave labor. Now that comes as a shock to me, because we're in the 21st century. I would never have expected that there are certain people around the world that are being taken advantage of and not receiving a fair wage. So what we've done is in order for sustainability to be accredited, one has to compete against the greenwashers. But nevertheless, we will go on to the BCom. So what you see here is a sustainability report. So it's extremely complicated. So what we've done, there's a system on the majority of our products. We have a QR code or a link. You scan the link, and what happens is some data comes out. It's data that has to do with, for example, planet, people, transparency, and traceability. Because the reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of people believe sustainability only has to do with the product itself. Is that yarn? Is that cotton organic? Is it recycled? That's really important. But there are other factors to take into consideration. One has to think about the people behind the order. You know, for a product to truly call itself sustainable, one has to think about the people behind the order. Are they being well looked after? What about their welfare? Do they have medical insurance? One has to look after them. So that's why, for example, the information you're currently seeing here, you're seeing first the planet, which is a system to continue to improve the environmental footprint, right? And it's all validated through third parties. The company in question is BCom. So if we move down, we got, can you actually highlight that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but can you blow it up?
Oh, yeah.
People. Yeah. So we're talking about planets, now we're talking about people. We are talking about taking care of the people that produce the socks for you and your customers. So I've got to bring mention to that to solidify the information and prove that the information you see there is truly genuine, is to tell you that we have every year, we conduct the SMETA Pillar 4 audit. It's a social audit. It's a social audit that is in favor of the workers that work in our company. It has to do with working hours, wages, bonuses, private medical insurance. So what I'm saying is the information you see on the screen is not greenwashing, because we validate absolutely all the information that you get to see. So if you look at people, we've got the SMETA Pillar 4. It's a validation system to prove that we are SMETA Pillar 4 company, and we have the interests of all our employees at heart. That's what I'm going to say there. Then, obviously, number 3 and 4, we're talking about transparency and traceability. We have to show what happens behind the order. I mean, that's really important. So, we're going to put the spotlight on our ethical and earth-friendly supply chain systems. So what I'm saying there is, and I'll give you an example, with regards to GOTS, for example. Our yarn is spun in Portugal. The reason why it's spun in Portugal is because we want consistent quality, but at the same time, for example, we want to reduce the distance traveled. Distance traveled, for example, is one important observation. There are many companies that will import yarn from Pakistan, from Bangladesh. We as a company have all our suppliers within the European Union. However, we do have in Sofia, Bulgaria, some suppliers of stockists, for example, of yarns, because we offer an in-stock service. So if we order, the distance traveled from our supplier to us is what, 7-8 kilometers, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to focus on what is the supply chain to make sure we're working with the right people. So for example, back in Portugal, the company that supplies us, the GOTS organic yarn, they are also GOTS approved. They got the certification. So when we start to model and break down and show how the supply chain system works, you'll notice, do we have a diagram on that or anything? It's just to show the circularity or anything. Let's just have a look.
No, we don't.
No. I could draw on a bit of paper. Nevertheless, it's like going back a little bit to when I explained about the seed being planted. So the cultivator, the people responsible for growing organic cotton yarn, they will also be GOTS approved. They will also be audited. So all the way through the supply chain management system, every supplier, everyone involved in the actual production and manufacturing of the yarn that we use is identified and accredited with GOTS. Plus, for example, they will also be SEDEX approved. They will also have, of course, the ISO certifications. We mustn't forget that we have the ISO 45001, which has got to do with health and safety. We have the 14001. Now, 14001 ISO, for example, is a certification whereby we are audited and inspected by SGS. As an example, in our factory, we have zero waste. We have a central vacuum system, so there's all the offcuts, everything that we do gets sucked into a special chamber. All that additional extra waste, which is comprised of 5 different components like nylon, polyester, elastin, cotton, and so forth. All that is retrieved in sacks. And as you know, if you want to recycle textile waste, one has to be able to separate the waste. So you can only recycle 100% cotton, 100% nylon. So all our waste that we have in our factory cannot be recycled. So what we do, we repurpose it. We give it a new life. We use it as stuffing for pillows or for the furniture industry. We have certain companies that will come retrieve it because they've got a company that will want the upcycled waste to be used for another product. So that's actually a good thing as well. So, yeah, okay. So, if anyone wants to know any more information about BCom, because it's so overly complex, and I know, Amy, you're taking lots of notes, so you're probably going to ask for it later. I have created like
bad memory.
I have created like a PDF with bullet points to try and make it as easy to understand as possible, because that took 2 years to develop. Anyway, so now we're going to come to a bit of a fun part. Okay, so we like upcycling very, very much, because what we tend to find, and maybe it's something you guys should know, ever since we pushed upcycled socks hard, I mean, genuinely hard, we invested quite a lot behind it because we need special machines to be able to knit upcycled yarn, because the yarn is more fragile, so it can break easier. So we've got 12 machines specifically designed to work with upcycling yarn. Now, the beauty about it is, and I'll give you an example, it's when you look at it, it's actually almost devastating when one looks at the environmental savings. So is this active, this?
If we can show the live one.
Okay, Amy, an example, okay? Let's just take, for example, that Allwag are ordering 2,500 pairs of upcycled socks, okay? Now, by upcycled socks, I mean crew heights. Let's just take this, for example. This over here is a pair of upcycled socks, right? It's got the craft label. It's FSC certified. So as an example, before we start, I just want to bring your attention to something. So we're members of FSC. So we've got a license number for FSC. When we ship, for example, all the packaging for the socks, we have what are these brown carton boxes, that sliding boxes. That's this one. Can you grab that one over there? So for example, this over here that you see is a box. It's FSC certified, and inside of it we put 1 pair of socks. Now we've got this for 2 pairs, 3 pairs, 4 pairs, and so on. But like I say, traceability is so important that what we do is we display over here the FSC logo, and on the reverse, it actually has the FSC license number. So for example, this can be validated. All you're going to do is type into the FSC database this code, and out will pop DS Smith. Now, that's why it's really important, because there are companies that will say this is eco-friendly or this is recycled. But how do we know it? Now, we have the proof behind it because we have the validation there. That's what we tend to do. That's what we're doing in the company to make it entirely traceable and validated and genuine, is to give the customer the foresight, the assurance that they are getting something that genuinely is sustainable. Anyway, so let's type in there that we're doing an order of 2,500 pairs of socks. Let's calculate the environmental savings. I mean, it's staggering. Now, that's, what is it, kilowatts per hour?
Yes, kilowatts per hour.
6,630 kilowatts per hour.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's verified by LCA work, like the Spanish university, what is called it's in
verified,
Spanish.
yeah, I know.
Here.
Right. Now, how many liters of water is that? That's 1 million.
I actually went to that university.
Did you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
That's so random, but yeah.
Did you know about this project that they did?
No, I was only there for a year, so
Oh, right.
that's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that 177,000? No, that's 1,000,000.
Yeah.
1,776,325 liters of water saved. Now,
Rob, could I ask a quick question?
yes.
When you're talking about that being a saving, against what? Comparing it to what?
Okay. So to best answer your question, I'm going to go back to a product that is not upcycled. That, for example, is just, let's just assume a pair of normal cotton socks. So if we go back to the origination of cultivating 1 kilo of cotton, that 1 kilo of cotton is consuming a maximum of around from 20,000 to 22,000 liters of water to cultivate 1 kilo of cotton, as an example. But what upcycling yarn is, and I'll describe it to you quickly, is we have a partner in Spain. It's a textile recycling company. And what they do is they recuperate all cotton waste from textile manufacturing companies. There can be offcuts from post-consumer, pre-consumer fabrics. That is all taken into what is the factory. And what they do is they separate all the yarn, all the fabric by color. What that means is there's less water required and there's less chemicals required in the manufacturing process. The actual manufacturing process is much, much shorter with a lot less water used as compared to recycling. With recycling, the manufacturing process is a lot longer and they use a lot more water and chemicals. That's why, for example, there is a calculation system. And Amy, you might be interested in this because it's a system, it's called the Higg Index. And the Higg Index is a validation system whereby it analyzes the fabric which is genuinely the most sustainable. So very high up, you might have GOTS, the Global Organic Textile Standard, but on top of it is recycling. And one step ahead, on top of recycling, is upcycling. And that is the one that scores the highest points with regards to that. So to answer your question, this determination of how much water is being saved is based on 711 liters of water saved per pair of socks in the manufacturing process. It has nothing to do with the planting the seed and using 22,000 liters of water. This has to do once the goods, the fabric is taken into the textile recycling company, separated by color, do we save those 711 liters of water? So we were, in a sense, targeted by one or two companies that actually said this is all bullshit. but I have more validation and more proof behind what I'm showing you to genuinely prove to you that the information you get to see is true. It's quite staggering. So that's, I mean, we've saved, do you want to type out there 64,000? Last year we did an order, we had one customer that ordered a total of 34,000. And we did another order that was 64, but just put, what was it? 36,720.
Yeah.
So there's a customer of ours that bought 36,720 pairs of upcycled socks. What happened was they then gave that to the customer. The final customer came back and said, we need some additional validation behind it. We supplied that extra validation and they were very, very happy, to the point that we have a system now where we have a certificate. And if the customer wants, we can put Amy as an example. Allwag Promotions presents this to your customer, right? And over there, you put the amount of socks that they ordered during the year and the environmental savings. We'll sign and stamp it for you, and you can send it to the customer. If you want, you can have this certificate given to you, for example, for just one specific order. It's not a problem. When I first looked at this data, I was a bit horrified because I thought that that's impossible, but these are genuine, legitimate savings. In fact, I said to you today that we having an audit, and this information is to be re-audited year to year.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Let's move to the, I believe, Christmas part. Rest all you covered.
Yeah, the Christmas part.
Yeah, here.
Ah, sorry guys. Do you have any questions? Because I haven't even had a sip of my tea. And Amy, if you thought you had a lot, look at my mug.
That'll keep you going all day.
Can you call him and ask him to add another sugar, please?
Okay.
That's a joke. It's be fine. Anyway, so just to finish the thing about upcycling, I have to tell you there's a negative downside, and I'll tell you what it is. The negative downside is, and just so you can all understand, after this meeting, we are going to be sending and preparing you a nice assortment of socks, Christmas socks for your Christmas campaign. But upcycled socks you'll tend to find are rougher. They're not as soft as conventional cotton or GOTS or bamboo. Now, that used to be a bit of a negative, but now people kind of like the idea that, hey, the sock feels different. It's recycled. The people can tell that it's denser, it's thicker, and it's heavier. And some people like the fact that we can't Pantone match these socks. They like the fact that whatever red comes out is the red. Now, to give you an idea, who in fact has adopted loads of socks is Google. They broke policy. They broke the policy of working against Pantone. So that there tells us a story. It tells us a story that if a corporation, for example, like Google, can sacrifice their Pantone guide system and say, we're going with the best red, the best green, that shows a huge game changer in the industry. Because as a corporate rule, everyone in promos or in business, in corporate gifts, they stick to a system. You break the system, you will fail. And that means if you don't produce a product to Pantone, customers are going to not want it. Well, it's a game changer. The rules have changed. So this is a very, very good plus. Anyway, so on to Christmas.
Next.
No, but we got, how can you reduce your carbon footprint? Yeah, anyway. So to not make it overly complex, this BCom sustainability system, I'll make it available to you so you can see more statistics and things to make, so you can make sense of it, because it's extremely time consuming. So that's why I'm going to send you, Amy and everyone else, the PDF, which is 3 pages to read, and then perhaps you can make some sense of it. Okay, so when it comes to Christmas, We are focusing on creating a little bit of sparkle and shine this Christmas. So we want to make it special. We have now the triple shift so we can take on more and more orders. Okay, Jenna, see you. I'll send you more information later. Okay, have a good day. So we're offering socks for the first time where you have the option to have what is metallic lurex yarn, which is a way to highlight the socks and give the socks a more visual impact. So if you look at this image, if you look at the beard, for example, and the snowflakes, that's knitted with regenerated nylon, but running around it and just over it, which we're going to use a lot of it, is the metallic yarn. That just adds a bit of sparkle. And then if you see the yellow and the pink, that's neon yarn. Now that neon yarn, that's nylon, but that's regenerated nylon produced in Spain, especially for us, of which we have the transaction certificates. So as an example, if you have an order this Christmas and the customer says, I want proof that that neon is eco-friendly, I want to know that that's regenerated, it's reprocessed. We can send you the original transaction certificate, which proves that it is, as an example, which is very important. So looking at statistics, it shows that the global organic textile standard, the GOT socks, are the most demanded. Upcycle comes in second place. Now, when we look at Euro cotton, that accounts for about 70% of our sales, or I think it's 78%, 70%. Nevertheless, the standard conventional cotton is also sustainable, because what I mentioned before about the definition of sustainability, what sustainability really refers to, it's not just how sustainable and how eco-friendly is the yarn, it's the people behind the order. It's the circularity, the transparency. Are our suppliers as serious as us with regards to sustainability? Do they have the same accreditations? They do. Does the yarn come from Europe? Yes, it does. So what I'm saying is the Euro cotton sock is the best seller. It is very sustainable, because some people think if it's not organic, it's not sustainable. It's not true. Well, with regards to our company. So the Euro cotton sock is the one basically to focus on more. So we have stocks of Christmas socks in stock to send. Sure we do?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so today what we'll be doing for you guys and girls, we'll be preparing a batch, like samples. We put it all together. We'll ship it to you this week, and probably I think by end of play on Friday, you'll have those samples. And what we can do, add on compact t-shirts.
Yes.
Rob, just to interrupt there, going back to the socks, when and how will we be able to view pricing on those at the moment?
Right, so what we can do after this meeting, Sophia and I will send you over distributor login. We will send you a media link file. It's a link where you can click on it and you can download certifications. You can download images of all the products and everything else. What we'll do this Christmas as well, we've got 3 graphic designers to speed up the process. If you feel you've got a hot lead, if you've got a customer that says, oh, I'm interested in Christmas socks, we will within 24 hours create free visuals for you. That's when we take the vector logo. All you got to do is send the vector logo. We will then put together 3 to 5 proposals for you, send it to you the next day. The good news about it is when you have a legitimate hot lead, our closure rate is 50%. So basically what that means is for every second design that we send is effectively an order. So that can go in your favor. So we also offer compressed t-shirts. Let's move on to that. I'm sure you know this product. We've been doing this product for 21 years. I can't believe I'm that old, but anyway. So yeah, we can offer compressed t-shirts from only 150 units. So that product consists of the t-shirt. It consists of 2 printed cartons, which is recycled cotton. Well, paper, it's 300 GSM. And the film, you know, the shrink wrapping, that's a film that's manufactured in Europe, and it is eco-friendly per se because it does use recycled plastics in the manufacturing process, and it's a cleaner and shorter manufacturing cycle as opposed to overseas imports. We also are accredited with DTG. The DTG printing that we do within the company is GOTS approved, and it's also approved by GRS. So the inks are eco-friendly as well, and we have certification on that as well.
Last words.
Yeah, the last words that I have. Alan, you've been very active in this meeting, so you've been asking some very good questions there. Do you have any more, perhaps?
It's not so much a question, Rob, it's almost like a bit of a statement or a conclusion. What I find really interesting about this last half hour, 45 minutes is literally every day now I'll get an email from a client or a prospect saying we're interested in sustainable product.
Right.
And in the most part, when you get back to them with an offering on sustainable product, they go, oh, I didn't realize it cost that much, and they shy away from it slightly. But it does get me thinking about who do we buy from? And I've created 1 or 2 emails now that when I'm asked this question about sustainability, especially because people will be asking about a very wide range of products, from drinkware to workwear to some of the tech that's available out there in the merchandise environment. To me now, it's about saying to these companies, it's who Wordflow buy from. I cannot give you a sustainability report on every product you're asking me for, which might be 10 separate items. But what I can do is I can say that Wordflow are choosing to deal with those companies that we wholeheartedly believe are making an effort to be more sustainable. And Rob, without being funny, mate, and blowing smoke up your ass, sorry for my language, everybody. Yeah. This 45 minutes has proven to me that when it comes down to the range of products that you guys sell, I believe you're actually unbeatable in that context. In that, who else would I go to if one of our blue chip clients came to us and said, we want a sustainable offering on something that you guys sell? I'm not just saying that. I genuinely believe that to be the case. The other thing is
Thanks for your kind words, Alan.
Yeah, we placed a couple of orders with you recently.
Right.
I've come late to the market for socks, but now I'm sitting here going to myself, I'm really enthused about socks and knitwear and putting out there to our clients your offering.
That's great. It's a great start to a Monday.
Yeah, or any day.
Yeah, perfect. And you know what's really good as well? What we found as well was that if you ever have compliancy checks, you know, when you'll be up against it one day when you're working with Amazon, for example, we can help you with that. We have 100% success rate on closing compliancy deals. And also another thing, at some stage, you might have to reveal to your customer who the supplier is. Never have any fear. We strictly trade only. We're honorable people, and you'll never be cheated out of a deal. You can wholeheartedly say that.
Always good to hear.
Yeah, 110%. Someone raised a hand.
Yeah, Julia, please.
Julia, please. Yeah.
Thank you for this 45 minutes. It's been great, really. I just was wondering, on the bamboo socks, what kind of bamboo fabric are you using? Is it bamboo viscose, rayon?
Right.
Kind?
It's bamboo viscose.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And to add on to that, you see, this is another thing, and it's always good to be honest up front. Bamboo viscose is not as sustainable as how bamboo is, because bamboo is a natural fiber, but then through the manufacturing process, there are more chemicals. You get the same about inks, the dyes used and everything else, tons of water. So on the sustainability index that we have, you'll notice that GOTS will score higher and upcycling will score higher as well, because bamboo is transferred to what is in effect another product, viscose. So
Fair enough. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any questions? Zoe, Mickey, Amy?
All I can say this is like a bottomless mug of tea. It's so big.
I haven't got a question necessarily, but I just wanted to say thank you. It's been really insightful because my task, basically working to kind of grade our products and grade them and give them kind of like an overview on how sustainable they are. So this has just provided like a lot of useful information. And then the BCom, that's going to be
Yes.
really useful for this task basically. So yeah, thank you. It's been really interesting.
You're welcome, Amy. I was actually living in fear, thinking you were going to knock me negatively.
No, you're the guru on this topic. I've just been
You think
taking
so?
notes.
Yeah. No, I tend to find every day I'm learning something new. It's a shocker. The latest shocker is denim. You know, the denim industry.
It's the
Oh my
worst.
God. Now, I have some breaking news for you. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you guys because perhaps this will get in the hands of someone and they'll do it before us. No, I'm not. Anyway, so next year at all the trade shows, we are going to be decorating our stand with 100% upcycled items. So
Cool.
the chair will be upcycled. We will not be ordering printed banners, vinyls, plastics. We will have nothing like that. It's all going to be upcycled.
Which will be the first show, Rob?
So merchandise world is in January.
Yeah, next year.
It's January.
Yeah. And now we have on 13th of September,
Yeah.
again, merchandise world as well.
I'll tell you what, why don't we do something? Why don't we get apparel today, right? To make like upcycled denim tote bag or zipper bag or something. We'll prepare that and we'll ship that along with some socks and some other products.
Okay.
Because I was amazed. I came into the factory the other day and Anita from apparel came to me and said, look, I've made some upcycled aprons. They were amazing. I made earrings. So what she did was she took this denim, they ripped it on all the machines, created it, and they have it like it's a feather.
Yeah.
But it's actually denim and they're earrings. Actually, let's send to the ladies in the group some of these
okay.
upcycled earrings, and you have asked them to produce some extra, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, good. Because I have a vision, you see, and what the situation is the following. If you trust yourself 10 years, 20 years into the future, you're going to find there's going to be tons and tons of companies that are reclaiming old clothes and repurposing them. That's already happening. That's you'll probably find around the world right now, you've got 6 to 8 to 10 fashion brands that are reclaiming old vintage denim, for example, and then they remaking them and remodeling them into something else. We've started that 5 years ago, but we're going to send you some examples of upcycled denim products this week, but there could be a delay. You could get it as late as next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, okay? We just need an extra time to produce them.
Yeah. Okay.
And what we're going to do, we're going to do a second webcast, and I think what we should do, we should focus on repurposing fabrics, bringing life to already existing garments. I think that could be a really good webcast. We'll do that. Behind the scenes, I want to introduce you to someone that's been watching, and that is Desi Patova, who organized this webcast. So thank you, Des.
Thank you, Des.
And she also wrote the script, believe it or not. So she too is a guru.
That's right. That you
That's
stuck
we
to
didn't
so
follow,
well,
but-
Rob.
We managed it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Listen, look, I'm going to have to go in a moment. So
Yeah,
just a
absolutely.
kind of last thing to say, and again, I really do mean this, Rob. It's lovely to hear your enthusiasm for your company and your product. It just comes shining through this hour. Yeah. And I like dealing with people who are as enthusiastic as me about what they do. And I just think, yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks so much.
Right. Lovely, guys. I'm gonna have to shoot, but I shall speak to you all again soon.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Take
Right.
care now.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye now.
Wind up.
All right, guys, I'm doing the wind up now. Is there anything else that someone might want to know? Someone would like us to throw in an extra sample of any specific product in those samples we're going to send you? Anything else you might want to know?
Not at this point in time. I just hope to see you next Wednesday at the Merchandise World.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we will be there.
I will not be there.
But I will be there.
Sophie will be there.
Yeah.
See you
Yeah.
there then, Sophie.
See you
See you
then.
then,
And John.
yeah.
Thanks so much, Julia. Thank
John
you.
O'Donovan as well. Yeah.
And John Donovan, yes. All right. Anyway,
Thank you
Lovely.
very much, everyone.
Thank you. It's been really
Thank
good.
you, guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Amy, if there, at some stage you want to hook up on a private Zoom call at any stage or anyone, we can
Yeah.
do that, okay?
That'd be great. I think it'd be really helpful with my project that I'm working on.
Right.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Thanks so much.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Bye.
Take care. Bye now. Bye.